that too.
Right. Okay, it says record, so hopefully, and I have it set so it's capturing that brown pole and that jump, so it should be most of this space.
Okay.
We'll see.
Cool. The only problem with video is I have to stand there or you won't hear me.
No, you don't have to. I mean, it's
Well,
fine.
it's nice for you to be able to hear.
Here.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But I can start out that way.
Okay.
Come on.
This way. That way.
Do you want the lights on?
Yeah, it might help. I thought maybe it would be sunny enough that we wouldn't need it.
Don't let me forget to turn them off.
You're gonna poop right
Of course he is.
right off the bat, no? Maybe? You thinking about it? All right, you think. Come on. You gonna do it? All right.
I'm sure glad we got that on video.
He always does that.
Have you been working on the activity level?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's
I just know he's gonna.
boop.
There it goes.
There we go.
That's why I've been rushing. I feel better. Got it all? All right. Come on.
Wow, you really had to go, buddy. This fork isn't even picking it all up.
Do you know he has never pooped or peed for me in the aisle here?
Really?
He always does it in here.
He likes dirt.
Are you liking the new saddle? Huh? It's like a new saddle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually. That's true. Most people would have to go sell that saddle and then buy another one, or first hunt for one,
Right.
and then buy it. That is what's so cool about adjustable saddles. I did not get it all.
Well, I tried to convince my friend, that girl Deb,
Yeah.
to look at adjustable saddles, and she just said she can't afford it, so.
Yep. I understand. I don't think people realize that over the course of 10 years, they're actually going to save money by never having to buy another one. So what I remember from our last session was that when we just focused on the activity, everything got better. And we didn't even think about the stretch. He just got everything, just got the stepping under, just did the job for everything. And he was one in particular that you could really see it. You could really see the benefit of some more of just that little bit of activity. To the point where I think I remember saying to you, even if your sessions were shorter, if he really applied himself, you really asked for the activity the whole time, you could make the session shorter and you'd get more value out of a session like that. Then, I mean, I understand he has to warm up and everything. You guys are matching.
What?
You're matching.
Teal is my favorite color.
You have the same color on. You need to get a teal lead line, though, lunge line, though. You cannot be doing this green thing with all this teal.
I couldn't find one.
I'm sure you looked.
I did.
So now he doesn't need to slow down when he does that now. We used to, that was his reward for stretching, because we needed to communicate to him that we wanted him to stretch, so we would let him slow down when he stretched. But now he can keep the same activity in the stretch, and then that's when you're really doing something for him. or that.
What are you doing? There we go.
So what you're going to be doing now is the same thing as when he's at the walk. You're going to soften his jaw a little bit. You just sort of squeeze your hand, soften his jaw. So that, there you go. So that he doesn't counterbend that much, and that will help him to step under himself. Right, exactly. So when he does drop his head, you give him a little bit of rein. I think there's just something going on outside. There you go. Yeah, that was really good. You eased up, you gave him a little release there because he stretched into it and relaxed. And that's what we're always trying to do, is reward relaxation for this horse. Because especially right now, something's going on.
Something's got in.
So you just keep going and rewarding when you see the relaxation. Right, exactly. So we're not going to do anything about it right now, but just to keep your eye developing, you can see that his haunches are closer to you. Okay, just so you can see it. You don't have to do anything about it right now, because right now we just want him to relax a little bit, which he's doing great. And if you were to use the whip to get his haunches out right now, he'd probably just get all tense again. So instead you can soften his jaw a little bit. Are you not threading the line over his pole on purpose? Okay. Because you don't like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I experimented with it.
Because why?
I experimented with it, and I found he does better.
How do you explain to me how he does better? That looks really good right there. He's relaxing well. Try to keep a nice weight of rein. Yeah, there you'll have to soften his jaw a little bit, because otherwise his haunches just keep falling in there. That looks, see how that helps his haunches. So tell me why it was better without over his pole, if you
I
can.
just feel like I don't know what it is. I felt I got a better response from it this way. I'm not sure I know what the reason is.
Would you be willing to show me?
Sure. I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, he might be okay. Now, the reason I say it is because in order to soften him this way, you have to really pull on his mouth. Which, try to get your line a bit straighter. You want to always have that weight of rein to his mouth.
Cut my corner over there.
Well, you either push him out or you shorten your line, one or the other. Yeah, because I can see the ring on this side that you can't see is almost getting pulled into his mouth. So could we try it? Okay. The reason I say it is because, and it may, you know the course. But to pull on this is not as outside.
You want me to switch sides, or do you want me to do
Same
it
thing,
on the
just the
side?
exact same thing we were doing, so we can really compare and see if it's, I believe you that it was better at the point that you switched, but let's just see now, because what I see.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to it in a while.
Yeah. So what, if he has a shampoo on or side reins on, then you're right, you wouldn't cross it, you wouldn't thread it over. But what I'm seeing is he's really needing softening in his jaw, and it's going to require quite a bit of pulling on his mouth.
Okay.
to get that, which isn't what we want to be doing. Because then they just get dead in the mouth. Not to mention, it's just not very nice. So take your time and just get yourself back to the trot when it's good. And let's just see.
Getting him used to the feel.
Yeah, take your time. So because it is, most of what we're going to be doing is in work in hand, in riding, and so in this way with lunging is about that outside rein. That's your most important rein, which you have absolutely no outside rein if you're on the inside ring. And so it's going to feel very different to him than your riding is going to feel when you're going to be relying on a consistent weight of rein on the outside rein. The inside rein will just be for softening. Pretty much. So can you walk and make it a bigger circle for him? Yeah, take him all the way over to that other wall. He didn't know he was going to go over there.
You show it off for Carol. He never does that.
Oh, I love when people say that. He never does this. There you go. But at least he's active, so that's good. Just keep it nice and big for him, because he was really kind of motorcycling, leaning, and that's not a good thing for them to be doing. Yeah. Take him all the way over there. That looks better already. Do I see his tongue coming out?
See, that is, okay. That he does a lot. He sticks his tongue out when I do it through, when I do it around.
Okay, well that's a very good reason not to do it then. Let's just go a little bit more till he relaxes, and then we can for sure know. Because we don't want that. But right now looks pretty good, actually.
Oh, yeah, when he's relaxed.
Yeah, right.
I didn't see that.
Good boy. Good boy. Oh, yeah. That looks really good. It seems like his haunches are staying out on the circle a little bit better now,
Okay.
which is good. Just keep it nice and big for him. There you go. And you want to shorten your line. If it's sagging, then either push him out or shorten your line. Let's do the other side because we want to do a lot of riding too.
Okay.
Okay, so what's your verdict? You're the boss. He's your horse.
Well, when he relaxes, it's fine, but I guess because he was just so excited at the beginning, he was pulling. But that's what I was finding. But he is settling back into a trot faster for me now, so I don't have him running around on the outside with his tongue lolling out as much since he's relaxing into it. Now look at the wall. Yes.
Well, maybe it's something you want to experiment with.
Okay, I'll go back to trying it.
Because I just don't think you could see from the other side that there was a good bit of pulling going on.
Yeah.
Which has to happen because but he was also really wound up. So I'm sure when he's not.
And he hasn't really worked since Thursday, so.
Let's do the other side.
Okay,
I'm liking the shoulder angle on the saddle now. When he comes straight at me, it looks just perfectly parallel, which is a beautiful thing. We'll see how you feel when you're in it.
okay.
It's also not sliding back. You see that?
I was watching that.
Which is so good. That is so good for him, for his comfort. He's just so cute. He is really developing nicely. He really is.
Right, we'll do it, yeah, with it.
Such a big one. I'm just gonna go pick up my rug off the pavement.
What?
I'm just gonna go pick up my rug off the pavement. Door, door, clear, clear. So, what you were saying when you're riding, you're able to do a circle, which is in sort of a leg yield. Every step of a circle is a leg yield in the sense that they're stepping under slightly with their inside hind leg. If you're having trouble doing a straight leg yield, what seems to be the trouble?
I think it's me and my position. I think I'm giving him mixed signals.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I'm doing it right, and I don't want to keep pressing him if I'm doing it wrong, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Because if he's not doing it, I usually figure it's my fault somehow.
Right. Okay, so we'll just take a few minutes to spend. We can just do a little tiny one. I mean, we can barely do it in here, but we could try to think where we could do it. I have the same problem. There's nowhere to do a leg yield. And a leg yield is a really valuable thing to do. That looks great. Nice and big. Yes. Even bigger. That looks great, Jean. The difference when he comes down like that in the way his hocks flex is amazing. It's a huge, now keep him active unless you're asking him to walk. Come this way a little bit. If you have to make the line longer, make it longer so that he doesn't have to do such a small circle. If you can't quite keep up, then make it longer because he needs to be bigger. Balance, a small circle is a real challenge for a horse to do in a balanced way. That's why we only do 20-meter circles for quite a while. But that looks really nice. That looks really nice right there. Keep your line nice and straight. Yep, you're not really pulling on his mouth that way, so that's good. You can either shorten it. That looks really good. Yeah, that looks great. So you can see that eventually you're going to want to get those haunches out farther, just like we did at the walk. And if you can't get, if touching him with the whip would, or using the whip is going to make him tense at this point, then you can always soften his jaw a little bit. But ideally, you could touch him with, not even touch him, just bring the whip out to get those haunches out a bit more, because he will be really over his back better in the trot if he's out there. So when you're riding him at the trot, you already know what you're going to need to do. What would that be?
I'm sorry, say the question again?
So when you're riding him at the trot in a circle, you know what you're going to need to probably do. What would that be?
Inside leg.
Correct, but not hanging in on him, just tap it, touch him. A little touch, that's all. You're not going to lay your leg on like we've been taught before. You're just going to bring your leg off, tap, and that's it. If you do that 2 or 3 times and you're not feeling him come under himself, then you're going to tap with your whip. You're not going to get harder with your leg, you'll tap with your whip. But that, sometimes riding the trot in a circle is going to be more helpful to him, because you're so far away, you can't help him as much as when you're actually on him.
Right.
And you can just touch with your leg or your whip and help fine-tune him a little bit. You may find that he has a better trot with you on. That's what we're going to find out. So is he ready to ride? Let's do it. Let's do some walk work first. If I am going to guess about the leg yield that maybe you're doing stuff with your reins.
Well, and I think it's also my seat. I'm not sure if I'm sitting in the right, like my weight distribution, to have him leg yield in a straight line. I'm not sure if I'm doing something that's keeping him, like if I'm weighting my inside seat bone too much or something like that. I'm not sure what it is that I'm doing.
Okay, well, we'll see. I would think that the less you do in general, the better.
Okay.
Don't swing yourself around. Don't try to weight any seat bone.
Okay.
One thing would be, and if we're filming, I can show you.
Oh, okay.
When you're on, and you're on, I can't really do it.
Here, before you do that, let me make sure it is still actually on.
Yeah.
Stay.
He's gonna check.
I don't know.
It's fine. I can still show you.
I can't tell. Where's the counter? Yeah, it's still counting. Okay.
So if I'm riding, there are 3 positions. If I'm riding straight, I'm just straight. I'm not doing this with this is something you do
Okay.
with your shoulders because it feels good and you're
Okay.
relaxed. But you got to stop doing that. You want to be
Okay.
up nice and tall. Let your hips move.
I've
with
been
that.
trying. I have been trying. You can tell me if
I
I'm
don't mean that it's an
succeeding.
insult at all.
No.
But it's going to get him off balance because your weight's shifting around. You know, like even just turning your head a little bit will do it. So think of what this would do. So you're going to be straight and tall, legs straight, just hanging down like wet noodles, toes up in the air. That's how you weight your stirrups.
Okay.
So now if I'm going to turn to the left, the only thing I do that changes really is my shoulders will just slightly turn into the circle.
Right.
Just a little, not my hands
Okay.
so much, just my shoulder a little bit. And then just up here at the hip will come back a little. I'm not moving my foot back or my knee really even, it's just a little bit at the hip. Very slightly, like I open this up a little bit. And that's how you naturally weight the seat bone the way you want it. Then if we're going to the right, my shoulders slightly turn in, this hip opens slightly.
Okay.
That's all that happens. That's the only positions there are.
Okay.
Nothing else. So don't worry about like scooting him over with your seat. You don't want to do that. You don't want to. Some people, scoot with their seat, and that's not what you want to do.
Well, I have been trying to just concentrate on being tall.
Good.
Keeping my weight back, not leaning forward, keeping my head up,
Good.
and just trying to focus on where I'm going rather than what he's doing.
Yes. Good.
And it's working most of the time. I still get I still get myself tensed up, and I still get myself all you know, I can feel it. I collapse on one side, you know, I start looking in and down. But I try.
I wouldn't even think about your position. I think
It's the whole
personally,
thing of relaxation. That's what I keep going
Yeah.
back to. Just sit tall, keep my
sit
head up,
tall and
relax.
Right. Sit tall and relax.
They're kind of the things that I'm just concentrating on.
Yeah.
So because I tend to do this.
Uh-huh.
I feel it. I feel it when it's happening. So I keep trying to say, okay, just sit tall,
Sit tall
back
and relax.
relax.
I like that much. That I'll go with you that far.
Yeah,
But then when we start
that's what I
thinking
focus
about,
on.
where's my hand, where's my hip, my SEPA, all that stuff, you really can get, all you're going to do is tense up.
Well, that's and I'm not sure if I'm doing it unintentionally, because I'm thinking, okay, this is what I want to do, but it doesn't happen, and then I think, well, is it because of something I'm doing?
Yes.
So I've been
So
trying
for
to
a leg
kind
yield, let me just think what I do for a leg yield. So I'm going around, let's say we come around, we're going to turn here, and we're going to now go that way, okay? So I do slightly drawing a blank.
displace.
Thank you. I slightly displace both reins,
Okay.
ever so slightly, but that, you don't even have to really
Okay.
do that. Just that, and then I just tap here. And I look at the wall, but nothing else changes, because I've already got this leg
Now,
kind of
do
open.
you don't turn your shoulders?
I don't.
Okay.
I just displace this a little bit. That's all, because I've got, let me unzip again. This is already back a tiny bit.
Okay.
So I'm touch with that, I disperse here, touch here, and I'm looking at the wall. Usually I end up having to use the whip, because that's just what you do. And as soon as she steps under, you feel your seat bone come up. You'll
Okay.
feel when they do it.
Okay.
And then you know you're heading there. But if you do anything else with the reins, they're going to start going to the wall. So that's
okay.
just, the less you do, the better. And just think of it as leg yield, not rein yield.
Okay.
Nothing else. It's just stepping under, just like you were doing in the circle, only the front end goes down alongside.
Okay.
So what we could do is we could do the tiniest one. We don't have any room in this ring.
And I've actually successfully got him to do a leg yield off of my
Go ahead and
leg,
get on.
but usually it's in the center of the ring after I've done a nice circle, and he'll be in a nice stretch, and I'll just keep him
Good.
going straight
Well, that's it
for a
then.
few steps.
That's
but when
it.
I try to do it,
Okay, so do that over and over and ask
Okay.
yourself what that feels like. So that's probably perfect.
okay,
So when you get that, go back, try to get that again, ask yourself what that is.
okay.
And if that's how you get them, great.
But when I think about it and I think,
Yeah.
okay, I'm coming off my circle and I'm going to go toward the wall, I get all like
I know.
stressed out about it,
I
and
know.
it doesn't happen.
So you can do a leg yield then. You just have to let it happen.
Yeah,
so that's
it's
good.
it's not something I can play. It's like it
It's
feels
not something you can
well.
plan.
No, it's like it feels good
Get
now, so let
on.
me try it. You know.
Yes, okay, so good. So that's perfect. So keep doing that. How's that?
Okay.
Keep working on that. When you get to when all those conditions are just right, when you said when he's in a stretch, what you're telling me is you're both relaxed.
Right.
So when you're both relaxed, you have no trouble getting a few steps of a leg yield. That tells me do that as often as you can. And then maybe try for one extra step of it. Who cares if it's on a straight line at this point, you know? It'll give you the feel of it. And it's really about feel, you know? You'll feel when he steps under. You can feel it underneath your hip. It's a really cool feeling. And that's the fact that you can feel it, what is coming up under you, his back. Which is why we do the leg yield, to lift their backs. That's why it's such a good thing to be doing, leg yielding.
Hey.
And when you're on a circle, everybody thinks you make a circle with the reins. You actually don't at all. You make a circle with the inside hind leg. And the front end has no trouble staying on the circle if the inside hind leg is stepping under for every step of the circle. I'm sorry. I lost my balance. So when you're trotting and walking and cantering, your circle is coming from the inside hind leg, not from your reins. So less reins in your head. You're riding the haunches. front will take care of itself.
I can tell you it already feels better.
Oh, that's what I want to know. What's that? You mean it's out this way? Oh, good. Love hearing that.
Yeah, it feels like I'm in the right place. You know, oh, we're looking at.
Can you put your hand under and make sure it's still working? Looks like you probably do. You don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
Good. It doesn't have to be 6 inches, just a little bit. That's great. So let's stay in this circle here, whichever direction you want to go, because then we're going to clip the lunge line on later, but just stay walking in this circle for now. Yeah, you do look nicely lined up.
I have not figured out how to gracefully switch hands with the whip. I always drop something.
Turn it. Flip it up. Flip it up.
Flip it up.
Flip it up and take it like that.
Oh, like this?
Mhm.
Okay.
You'll just practice it. It'll be really easy. So the first thing is just get him nice and active. That's all we're thinking about right now. Think about when you were lunging, you want to get him and see how that helps. Everything just gets better. And keep him active, that's it. So you're just gonna, just like when you were lunging, he's just gonna walk a nice active circle. And your reins will be a straight line. Yeah, so you don't even worry about that, just send him forward.
Okay.
Send him on, and that'll be fixed. Yep.
Little bit.
So your outside rein, you would like to have a straight line. Because,
Everything I still drop.
yeah, well, it's eventually you'll feel the knee, you'll really like the feel of the stepping under with the inside hind leg, and then the energy will just fill that outside rein. You'll feel it. And you won't even feel like you need the inside rein. It's a very cool feeling. So you start training him for that by just keeping it the weight of rein. That's all you have to do. No more than that. That's the rein that stays pretty consistent. You can bring your hands up to help soften his jaw, lift the bit in his mouth a little. You can certainly do that. But most of the softening is going to be with your inside rein. And I find bringing my hands out in front of me more tends to help. And lift the bit up into the, there you go. Okay, so he's just stalling out, that's all. He just needs more activity. Yeah, don't even worry about the stretch right now. He just needs to go. Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I listened to you and I stopped.
There, just go. Once you get to a certain activity level, everything gets better. So that's what you want to focus on. First thing to try if he comes up is send him forward.
Okay.
Get him back to that activity. Then you can deal with all your other little ways to help him soften. Yep. So we're going to make this, think of this ride as it's going to be short, but it's going to be the best.